Hello guys. I don't really wanna be that guy, but I think somebody has to talk about this. And this is one of the biggest problem of Hirez Studio Games, right? Hirez Studio or Titan Forge, they really know how to make good games, right? But the issue is that the community management is usually probably the thing that has been holding Smite Hirez games back for years now, right? For example, if you check some of these pro players, right? Captain Twig, Pretty Prime, whatever. The issue is that these are actually the employees of Hirez, right? And now we have this issue that we have the same 15 players on Smite Pro League, Smite competitive scene, on Smite Championship for 5 years in a row, right? And these guys are also busy making money and making their careers, that there is no actual competition anymore, right? Because these players are usually the ones who are actually gatekeeping everybody else from getting into Smite competitive scene. And Hirez Studios has so many employees and Smite, they have those Smite Olympians, right? They are supposed to be a community representatives, right? But they caused more drama in the last few years than anybody else. And a lot of these players are actually the personification, everything that is wrong with Hirez games and with gaming in general, right? And if you just go into YouTube, right? And if we type Smite into YouTube, what do we see? Weekend, Fine OK, Zapman, you know, Barracuda, Icon, all these guys made their YouTube careers out of being on Smite SPL because people think they're one of the best, right? No, in reality they all got handpicked. There is no actual competition, you know, and that is the issue. There is no real competition anymore. It's literally same 15 people that gatekeep everybody from ever getting on Smite League. Even if you get Smite Masters, even if you get Master ranking in Ranked, right? You still have no chances to get on Smite SPL because people literally got handpicked, you know? And these guys will never talk about these issues because they're making so much money from Hirez, sponsors and YouTube, right? And there are so many other issues in Smite community, like every Hirez game has divided ranked community. We have Arena versus Conquest players in Smite, we have Strikeout versus Domination players in Rogue Company, we have Deathmatch versus Siege players in Paladins, you know, it's always the same story, divided community. Even Smite and you know, we have EU versus North America players. EU players literally had to play with high ping against North America teams, right? And nobody actually deserved their spots. People literally got handpicked, right? Because their Hirez should never pay their players. It should be a competition where the top 6 teams, you know, you make separate EU and North America tournaments and you let top 6 teams play it out in Atlanta. So you get sponsors and viewers from both continents, right? But all the censorship, you know, Smite Reddit is the same, right? There should be a single or maybe 2 Hirez employees that have Smite Reddit on. And all they have to do is remove spam, right? And just let the community upload or download how they want, you know? But no, now we have, you know, we have no memes allowed, only art and short funny clips or newcomer questions are basically allowed here. We have 6 Smite subreddits instead of 1 with flares, which further divide the community, right? And so many mods that, and it's only like 2 who actually, you know, force everything, right?
Life could be a dream, life could be a dream. Do, 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 so.
And you know, Smite community representatives like Olympians, right? They should be the one to bring the community together, but they always make drama. Smite Olympians, you know, were literally the one who destroyed the Brandon career, actually, and Smite YouTuber, right? And I don't know what, sadly, I know, I loved Smite for years, but the sad reality is Hirez Studios or Titanforge doesn't really have much future. Their new games are basically copy of the games that have been already made, right? And they're not listening to the community. They still didn't add old fun game modes back into the match of the day rotation, like Domination, Adventures, or Smite card. Why make so many fun game modes and then don't use them, right? They still didn't add rank leaderboard or rewards for arena players. The lack of commendation achievement points rewards, the lack of mini chests for wins, right? Things like that. Still no clan wars after so many years. The UI was better 7 years ago, and we have had better casters who actually understood the meta, right? But Hirez, they make so many Olympians, they so many employees. Why are they having so much employees? But these guys will never talk about this, because they literally made their careers out of this, right? And that's the sad reality, and that's how you destroy a game and a community, right? This is one of the worst community management I have seen in years of gaming, and people like us who express the truth, we are the one who usually get banned in such communities, right? And competitive fire, they just ban us. We have Smite official Discord, we have Smite SPL chat. Guys like me who talk, who are competitive, who actually call these guys out, we usually just get banned in those communities. And censorship is also one of the biggest issue in Smite community, right? But I'm pretty much done talking about Smite and Hirez. Like, it's not what I have spent so much effort and so much love for this game, and I never got anything in return. I got no views on Smite because only those guys who get on Smite SPL via friends connections, only those guys get any views, right? And Brandon, who was literally the biggest Smite content creators, people were so jealous that they literally destroyed his career, right? It's a disgrace, right? And Hirez, to these days, this is the problem with Hirez. Hirez should be the one who is supposed to be a good example, right? Nobody would believe, people made up those things about Brandon, but only when Hirez banned him, only then everybody thought, wow, maybe now everything is confirmed, when nothing was confirmed. This bad community management is the reason why the game is dying, literally. And instead of making a fun tournaments, instead of making arena community tournaments, or conquest community tournaments, I don't know, man. But guys like, these guys like Fine Okay, and we have, and the sad reality is that it's all just a huge business. There is no competition anymore. Guys like Fine Okay would have 15,000 subscribers, not over 100,000 subscribers, if they wouldn't go get on Smite SPL via connections. They're not even good, that's the issue. They have been building outdated solo support items for years, but who cares, right? They're too busy making money. The lack of any meaningful competition, the lack of Europe players, who is literally the biggest region in the world, the lack of international players, the lack of console players, the lack of arena players. They lack so much competition, but yeah, they still call themselves champions on Reddit, on Twitter, right? We are champions, right? If you just check, Tukrat Smite World Champion, blah 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 blah. Right? Everybody calling themselves champions, even though they know how much competition they actually lack, right? I mean, maybe I'm just jealous, right? But I'm actually happy, like, these guys can make a career out of this, right? But the sad reality is Smite has not much future if Hirez is not gonna change anything. No matter how much do these guys call themselves champions or whatever, right? And these guys are all busy making content just to get money from YouTube, right? And nobody's talking about these issues because they're too busy making money. And if nothing changes, the Smite community will die. The Smite will die, right? I unfollowed a lot of guys, but literally the only guys who appear at the top are usually the guys who got an SPL, right?